She already decided if you had a chance, before you said a single word. Not after your first joke, not after you mentioned your job. Before, in the time it takes you to walk across a room, her brain already ran a calculation you didn't know was happening. And if you failed it, nothing you say next will fix it. Most men think dating starts with conversation. It doesn't. It starts with a scan. Fast, silent, and almost entirely unconscious. Women aren't being shallow when they form a snap judgment before you speak. They're running a survival-rooted assessment that evolution built into the female brain long before dating apps, long before bars, long before hello was even a word. This isn't about looks alone, and it isn't something she's doing on purpose. It's a pre-verbal filter, a kind of energetic background check that's evaluating safety, status, and intention all at once. And here's what almost nobody talks about. This filter isn't fixed. It can be passed, failed, or completely rewritten in seconds, depending on what you do with your body before your mouth ever opens. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's happening inside that silent decision window, why it forms so fast, and, more importantly, how to walk into a room in a way that actually works with this system instead of against it. Because right now, you might be losing the moment before it even begins. Picture this. A coffee shop. A woman is sitting alone, scrolling her phone. A man walks in. She doesn't look up. Not really. But somehow, by the time he's ordered his coffee, she already has an impression of him. Confident or anxious. Safe or unpredictable. Worth a second glance or instantly forgettable. He hasn't spoken. He hasn't even made eye contact. So where did that impression come from? This is where it gets uncomfortable for most people to hear. Women are often reading micro-signals men don't even know they're broadcasting. The pace of his steps, whether his shoulders are open or collapsed, how he interacts with the barista, patient or dismissive, whether his eyes dart nervously or move with calm awareness. None of this is conscious analysis on her part. It's pattern recognition, running thousands of comparisons against every social interaction she's ever witnessed in a fraction of a second. But that's only half the story. Because this filter isn't just about attraction. It's about safety. For most of human history, a woman's survival and her offspring, survival depended on accurately reading a stranger's intentions almost instantly, often without the luxury of conversation. Was this person calm or volatile, resourceful or reckless, trustworthy or dangerous? Women who could answer that fast, without needing proof, were more likely to survive and pass on that same fast reading ability to their daughters. So when a woman today forms an instant impression of a man across a room, she's not being unfair. She's running software that's been refined over hundreds of thousands of years. Here's where it gets even more uncomfortable. This isn't only happening with strangers. It happens on first dates too. And it happens faster than either person realizes. Studies on first impressions show that people form lasting judgments about trustworthiness, confidence, and warmth within seconds of seeing someone, long before enough words have been exchanged to justify that judgment logically. And once that first impression locks in, it acts like a filter on everything that happens afterward. If the early signal was safe and confident, she'll interpret his nervous jokes as charming. If the early signal was anxious and unpredictable, the very same jokes might come across as try-hard or even unsettling. This explains something that frustrates so many men, feeling like they did everything right on a date and still got rejected. The conversation might have flowed, the topics might have landed, but the verbal performance was, in a very real sense, happening on top of a decision that had already been made. Words were never going to undo what the nervous system already concluded in the first few seconds. So if this filter forms before speech, what determines whether it reads you as safe or as a threat? What determines whether it reads you as confident or anxious? That's where this gets personal. Because the answer isn't about your face, your height, or your bank account. It's about something far more controllable than most people realize. Here's the deeper truth this entire video has been building toward. The silent decision a woman makes before you speak is not primarily about what you look like. It's about what your nervous system is broadcasting, and her nervous system is reading it like a tuning fork reads a vibration. Think of it like this. Imagine two nervous systems as two separate radio stations. One is broadcasting calm, grounded, steady energy, like a low, even hum. The other is broadcasting tension, urgency, and unpredictability, like static and sudden spikes. A woman's nervous system, often more attuned to subtle emotional and physiological cues, due to both biology and social conditioning, picks up on which station you're broadcasting before any words are exchanged, and whichever station she tunes into first becomes the lens through which she interprets everything you say next. This is why you can say the exact same sentence, "Hey, I really liked what you said earlier," and have it land as warm and genuine in one scenario, and slightly off or needy in another. The words didn't change. The broadcast did. This is also why so many men feel like they're performing on dates, rather than simply being present. If your nervous system is broadcasting anxiety, rushed breathing, tense shoulders, eyes that won't settle, a need to fill every silence, she will read that as instability, even if your words are saying all the right things. Not because she's judging you unfairly, but because her system is built to prioritize the non-verbal signal over the verbal one. It always has been. It always will be. And this is what's actually happening when you walk into a room and feel like you are already lost before you've said anything. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because your physiology walked in first, and it set the tone before your personality had a chance to. But here's the part that should genuinely excite you. Nervous system states are not fixed personality traits. They're not something you either have or don't have. They're trainable. A person who feels anxious in social situations today can, with the right awareness and the right practice, learn to regulate their physiology so that what they broadcast is calm and grounded, regardless of how they actually feel internally in that moment. This is not about faking confidence. It's about learning to lead your nervous system instead of being led by it. This single shift, understanding that the silent decision is reading your physiology, not your script, changes everything about how you should prepare for any social or romantic interaction. It means the most important work doesn't happen in your head, rehearsing what to say. It happens in your body, in the seconds before you ever open your mouth. So how do you actually work with this system instead of against it? Here are the shifts that matter most. First, regulate before you engage, not during. Most people try to calm down after they've already started talking to someone, but by then, the first impression window has already closed. Instead, take 15 to 20 seconds before any interaction to slow your breathing, drop your shoulders, and physically settle. This isn't a trick. It's recalibrating the exact signal her nervous system is going to read first. Second, let your body arrive before your words do. Walk at a steady pace. Make brief, unhurried eye contact before you speak. Let there be a beat of silence rather than rushing to fill space with words. This single pause signals something most people never consciously notice, but always unconsciously feel, that you're not desperate for this interaction to go well. And paradoxically, that's exactly what makes people want it to go well. Third, understand that warmth reads louder than wit. Clever lines can open a conversation, but they rarely override a cold or guarded first signal. If you lead with genuine, relaxed warmth, even something as simple as a real smile that reaches your eyes, you're broadcasting safety. And safety is the single most attractive signal a nervous system can receive. More than charisma, more than status, more than the perfect opening line. Fourth, stop trying to win the moment and start trying to be present in it.